talk to those guys. I feel like I should have been a troll or an orc. I feel very out of place. You looking for some magic? No. I want, shooty shooty bang bang. Oh, hello, Simi. Come on. Warming herself in the dim light of a dying street lamp is a wave of a girl who looks far too worn for her years. The Mother Superior, she says there will be 7 for me to care for. I need to see to them. I wasn't aware of any convent or church nearby. She's there when I close my eyes, and I'm Maria. She says I'm to be governess to the children. You notice a chipjack poking out beneath the young woman's unruly hair. The vacant look in her eyes marks her as a likely BTL junkie, lost between reality and any number of better-than-life virtual constructs. I need money to get back to them. Look, do you know Monica? Monica? Is she one of the sisters at the Abbey? No, wait, Monica. A flicker of recognition fights through the haze in the young woman's eyes. Yes, Monica. She's good to me. Brings me food to eat and tea to drink. I'm afraid I have some bad news. Despite the woman's persistent delirium, she seems to glean meaning from your tone. She died? While working a job, yeah. The girl grips her head with claw-like hands, tugging at her hair as if she might pull her brain out through her skull. I don't like this, but I can't switch it off. The girl's frail body shudders and her eyes grow large, but she does not sob. Instead, she smiles a sad smile, which looks to have been worn all too often. She will go to heaven. She told me it's as a place for good people, stillborn babies, and childhood pets, and she was a good person. The girl then begins to mumble to herself while fingering the hair that covers the jack in her head. Captain Von Trapp is very well known and respected. The poor dear lost his wife and the children their mother. A child should not be without a mother, and a mother should not be without a child. Oh, this is the... I think this sounds like the Sound of Music. What's this? A bizarre monument towers before you. At the top of the pedestal, the form of an angel stands, its outstretched wings looming over the small park. But the material is strange and uneven, giving the statue a cold, Frankenstein-esque appearance. It appears that the artist has welded this monument together from various metal scraps and pieces of junk. As you approach, a small, grimy monitor at the base of the statue flickers dimly to life. The grainy face of a smug young orc appears on screen. Hello, I'm Herbert Kunzel, the creator of this monument. What would you like to know? Press the 1 key, statue name. This is my tribute to victory, the victory of anarchy. It is both a citation and parody of the statue we destroyed some 20 years ago. You may remember it from the history... oh, fuck off. From the history sheets as the Sigosal, or Goldels. Installation sheet. Isn't it obvious? The Sigosal, a monument to the hubris of the Prussian state, gets blown to bits. So someone takes a lot of bits and builds a monument to the hubris of anarchy. Ow. I mean, what more is there to say about the artist? I am the visionary Herbert Kunzel from Lindwurmer. You might know me from... Okay, well, there isn't much I'm known for yet, but I intend to change that. All art is born from misery, after all. No, it's not. Fuck off. Let's look at the phone booth. It's an old, obsolete phone booth. It's ringing. Pick up the receiver. The monotone, pitch-adjusted voice begins speaking almost immediately. Oh, for fuck's sake. The Shockwallen writer's contact for this keys is no more. Afer is listed as a follow-up contact. This is our only secured line to this keys. Please listen to the following instruction carefully if you are a supporter of our cause. Who are the Shockwallen writer? The fuckers is fighting for the freedom and liberty of information in Berlin. The F-state manages many things, but information remains controlled. Corporations keep any information they can under lock and key, silencing dissent, silencing indiscretion, silencing the truth. Our goal is to liberate the information so that any who wish to may access it, and so that the F-state can regulate itself based on truth. We are simply a collective of like-minded individuals working towards this cause. We have phone booths in strategic locations throughout the city. Within each one, you may find a requested a request posted for specific information. If you can obtain a copy of this information, return here and submit it via the port below the receiver. We will verify the authenticity of the information remotely and post an undoctored copy of it onto the Matrix ourselves. It is our stated goal for the information to remain free to all. However, you will be compensated for sought-after information returned to this location. The line goes silent. Keep an eye out. Actually, didn't I get something during that one mission? Yeah, I got a pay data. I guess that's not what they're looking for. Man, this area is way bigger than in the previous game. Okay, that's nothing, I guess. Where does this go? It's a cyber clinic. Triage cyber clinic. As you approach the elf, you notice that he's in mid-conversation. His lips move rapidly and his voice comes out in a low, quiet tone. The glossy plastic shell of the high-grade comlink glints on his wrist. Listen on his conversation. Doing your best to look uninterested, you lean in slightly and strain your ears. You find that you can make out the doctor's end of the conversation. No, the price I'm quoting you is more than fair, well below market value, in fact. If you can't pay it, that's your problem. Yes, I know that the price has gone up. This is a seller's market. Well, then you'll just have to find the money or go without. I'm sorry, but I have to go. I have a patient. He presses a button on his comlink and looks up at you, $1 million smile on his face. Sorry about the wait, my friend. Welcome to the Triage Cyber Clinic. He extends his hand to you. I am Dr. Xavier Esquivel, and your name is... my name is none of your concern. The smile dies on his face. He lowers his hand. I was just being polite, Afer. I know who you are. Word travels fast in the cruise bazaar. So tell me, what do you want? I need cyberware. Cyberware. Adds +3 to hit. I'm not gonna buy anything just yet. Why did they even bother with that? I doubt we're gonna end up going in there. I don't like him. Hey, let's see what this guy says. This elf has clearly seen better days. His skin is weathered and emaciated as though it's been stretched too tightly over his frame. Track marks line the crooks of his arms, and dirty bandages wrap his knuckles. Despite all of this, he seems cheerful enough. The elf fixes his twinkling, bugged-out eyes on yours and offers you a broad smile, displaying a set of impossibly white teeth. When he speaks to you, his voice is surprisingly deep. Guten Tag, mein Freundin. You here for some magic? Because Zack flashed. He gestured himself with a dramatic flourish. Is your magic man? No thanks. I am not magic, unfortunately. Oh, maybe... The Romani patriarch is an impressive figure, an enormous man in his late 60s, burly and broad-chested despite his age. His voice is deep and resonant, and his breath is heavy with the stench of pipe tobacco. Tavern Backstal Elf. You're here to conduct some business? If so, I welcome you to Mechback Arms and Ammunition. If not, keep right on walking. I'm here to buy. Can we tell me about your inventory? We have weapons from all across Europe. Ares, Seska, Fischetti, you name it. If it can be found on the continent, it can be acquired by Medback Arms. Impressive setup. Let's do some business. Ooh, outfits. Secure tech. Grants plus 5 HP. I'll leave it for now. Oh, what's this? Talismander's shop. Something about the young elf behind the counter makes your breath catch in your chest. She's lovely to look at, but it's a strange kind of beauty. Her eyes are large and luminous and impossibly green. As she looks up at you, you can see that her irises reflect with iridescent gold. Hello, and welcome to Algernon's. Hey, he's from the first game, isn't he? Perhaps I can help you with something. As she smiles up at you, her eyes fixed on yours, a curious feeling of weightlessness fills your chest. It feels as though you're floating in a warm, calm sea. A gentle current purrs you to absinthe, and the sensation is pleasant. As you drift, the golden specks in her eyes begin to move. Well, I don't have a choice but to look deeper into her eyes. The golden specks on the outside shift and swirl, slowly picking up speed. It's mesmerizing. All at once, the specks explode into light and color. Absinthe eyes now fill your field of vision, and it feels as if you're drowning in an alien sea. The patterns traced by the shimmering specks in her eyes are kaleidoscopic, enchanting, and nearly impossible to turn away from. Lose yourself. You are lost. Your entire world has been reduced to a churning vortex of green and gold. Dimly, you become aware that something is happening. You feel your body being buffeted by unseen forces, and suddenly everything goes black. Great. Slowly and painfully, you shove your way back to consciousness. The shop owner, Algernon, is peering down at you, an expression of concern on his face. Athens stands beside him, her expression one of embarrassment. Welcome back, friend. Algernon extends a hand to help you to your feet. Absinthe shifts slightly to allow you to stand. Wait, what was that? What happened? My fault and my apologies. Sometimes when I daydream, I bring others along for the ride. It was unintentional, yes, but there was no harm done, correct? You'll be fine. If you see, I'm gonna go. Harmless? I don't think so. Step away from me, Elf. I want nothing more to do with you. Goodbye. I'm leaving. Oh, hello, David. Who are you? I said, who are you? There we go. A pair of round eyes peer up at you from under the hood of a grime-smeared winter coat. You recognize him as David, one of the Kriz Bazaar's street kids. If you had to guess, you'd place him in his mid-teens, though it's difficult to tell beneath the grime and acne marring his face. You've seen him following Monica around between runs, chasing her heels like a lost puppy. She always seemed to have a soft spot for the kids. Oh, hoy, Afer. Have you seen Monica around? I've been looking all over for you. I'm afraid I have some bad news for you, kid. The kid blinks, a blank expression on his face. She's dead, isn't she? I'm sorry, kid. We all are. Yeah, look, I think I want to be alone right now. Alright, let's go to here. The Coffee Kezve. This is just gonna be a game of me being completely unable to pronounce shit. The man behind the counter looks right past you and at the dog following close behind. Dante, I will fetch his water dish and perhaps a coffee for our friends here. Paul Amsel sends his regards. When he hears Amsel's name, the Turk voice lowers and his accent becomes less exaggerated. His eyes take on a knowing look. Ah, very good. Please express to Herr Amsel my appreciation of his patronage. If he needs any more catering jobs seen to in the future, I'm always happy to provide. Paul is always pleased to send business your way, Herr Burakzazi. He was hoping you would discuss some of the details of his Green Winter's order with me. The coffee shop owner offers you a smile. Of course, Herr Amsel is too kind. Burakazi turns his head and calls into the back room. Kami, come! A young woman bustles in from the back room. Her gum chewing is loud enough to hear over the noise of the coffee grinders. Burakazi spits something out in rapid-fire Turkish. As you wish, uncle, I will see to it right away. Kami offers you a shy grin, snaps her gum, and hurries back to the room that she came from. My girl Kami is arranging to make contact with the chef as we speak. This will likely take some time. My chef is a busy man. While we wait, I wonder if you'd be so kind as to run a small errand for me. A trifle, really. I hate to trouble you. I am embarrassed to even ask, but it would be most appreciative of your help. I'm not your errand girl. I do a job. I get paid. He smiles big, the Turkish vendor again. You are already being compensated. Most masterful of mercenaries. Do you not recall? Kami is fetching your information for you. Returning the favor would be the courteous thing to do. My time is a valuable commodity, my friend. I'm sure a businessman like you can understand that. Oh ho, yes, of course I can. But Agassi rummages through his pockets and fishes out a crumpled 100 yen bill. He thrusts the coffee stain out of paper into your hands. There, you have been paid. Now let's get on with it, eh? Alto's voice lowers to nearly a whisper. The errand is simple, hardly worthy of you. I have installed a number of data taps to Berlin's fiber optic network, as part of my civic duty, you understand. These taps provide free matrix access for all those who live in Cruz Bazaar. In order to maintain their anonymity, each tap's protocol buffer must be reset every few days. I simply wish for you to visit each data tap and reset it. That's it. No catch. There is no catch, I assure you. It is time-consuming and a bit tedious, nothing more. Just reset the taps and come back when you are finished. There should be 3 of them scattered around this neighborhood. The first one is just outside. Look for a metal box with yellow arrows painted atop it. By the time of your return, I should have the information Herr Amsel requested. Oh, hello, Jan. Goldsmith? Goldschmidt. Hello, my friend! The voice that comes from the man in the chair is as enormous as its owner, a deep booming roar, dripping with unrestrained mirth. I mean, his owner isn't very enormous. Yes, it is certainly a beaut. From the back of the store, the voice of the shopkeep cuts you off. Don't mind the fool in the chair. He roars like a traumatized walrus, stewing all day in his own sweat. The man behind the bar glares at Goldschmidt, his upper lip curled in disgust. I tolerate him only because he takes his soy cap by the bucket. Goldschmidt responds with a raucous belly laugh. Apparently he finds the shopkeeper's insult to be hilarious. Ah, old Tug, mein Freundin, you are as quick-witted and sharp-tongued as ever. I bow to you. If you wouldn't once again, the shopkeep cuts in. To bow to me, you would first have to vacate your chair. The shopkeep claps his hands together, clasping them in front of his chest. I shall summon a team of determined young men on ox to assist with the task. With luck, you will be on your feet by nightfall. Goldschmidt smiles up at you, his small eyes glittering. Enough of this senseless bickering. You have approached me for a reason, yes? Tell me, what can Jan Goldschmidt do for you? Something bad is going to happen if he doesn't stop interrupting me. Oh, don't mind our dear Altug. Yes, he is a peevish man, but his ire was not directed at you. Goldschmidt grins up at you from his overstuffed chair. I have the distinction of being the sole target of Altug's rage and derision. It's a badge that I delight in wearing. Why do you put up with those insults? Don't you have any pride? I put up with them because they amuse me. The fact that they amuse me infuriates my dear friend Altug, who, in turn, hurls more insults. Goldschmidt raises his soy calf cup in salute. And thus the cycle continues. Just 2 years now that I've been your customer. Yes, Altug? 2 years of soy calf and strained patience. Yes. And I remain happy and Altug makes money. An ideal business relationship. That all sounds perfectly healthy. Take care, Jan. Goldschmidt gives you a deep nod, his jowls quivering. Until next time, my friend. Amazing. Ah, there we go, there's one. Boop. Oh, I don't recognize this area. Am I gonna, like, steal from the dancer? Or what? Tip the dancer? What's down here? Nothing interesting. Okay. I wonder if she's called Simi because she's always living in a simulation. As you're resetting the data tab, you notice that someone has duct taped a small homemade receiver to the system. An earplug dangles from the receiver. Yeah, sure, why not? The sound of heavy machinery makes it difficult to hear the words that are being spoken. After a moment, you find you can make out two distinct voices. A nasal woman who sounds like a heavy smoker and a man who speaks in a high-pitched, breathy tone. Just heard Monica. Need to verify. Good for us. Continue listening. A sound like a conveyor belt starting adds to the noise of machinery, and you can't make out anything else until it comes to a stop a minute later. I think our next step, blah blah blah. Wait, isn't ready to make a move yet. Need to be patient. See who steps up. Could be someone more. More conveyor belts start up. All you can hear is the sound of machinery. Some sort of motorized vehicle starts up, drowning out everything else. A bell rings loudly again and again. It sounds like a telephone. You hear the sound of a door slamming shut and the noise of machinery suddenly muffled. There's a rattle of plastic and the ringing stops. The nasal woman's voice can be heard again in a sing-song tone. Guten Tag, how may I help you? Her tone changes, becoming more businesslike. I heard. Silence. Yes, he knows. I told him it wasn't time to make a move yet. Silence. What do you think I am, an idiot? The council needs to meet again. Silence. I know. Getting everyone in the same room is challenging. Getting them to agree on a course of action is going to be even more challenging. From my perspective, the Cruise Bazaar was only stable because of her. If she really is out of the way, well, we'll see, won't we? Silence. Yeah, I know. What can I say? Things go slow in the flux sometimes. You hear the sound of a door opening again, and the cacophony of machinery fills the line. You can't make out anything more. Interesting. Zoom. Oh, the door's here. Come on, there we go. The man behind the counter has the broad smile and open demeanor of a classic Turkish street vendor. Welcome, Honored Efendim, welcome, and how can Buragazi serve you today? You like a cup of coffee, perhaps? I finished with your little trifle, Herr Buragazi. Ah, very good. I assume you had no difficulties. Difficulties? No. One of the taps has been modified a bit, though. Someone was using it as a surveillance device. He laughs. Of course they were. I would be surprised if they weren't. This is Berlin, after all. In the flux, everyone spies. If you do not spy, how will you know who is in power and who will be in power next? If you are to stay here, Efendim, you must get used to it. Who enters the Turkish bath will sweat, as my uncle Taydemir always says. Nevertheless, I shall have one of my people look into it. Wait, there's more. I listened in on the tap and heard something might be important. He eyes you closely, amused. Oh, tell me, O listener at keyholes, what did you hear on the surveillance tap you found? I couldn't make out much. A nasal woman and a high-pitched man. They seemed pleased Monica was out of the picture. The Turk's face falls. News travels fast in Berlin. Those two are known to me. Is there more? The woman got a call. She talked about a council meeting tonight, decided they should make a move, then she was drowned out by heavy machinery. He nods grimly. Most excellent. It is indeed fortuitous that you discovered this information, though it is not unexpected. I will have one of my people attend this council meeting and report back. Sounds good. Keep me in the loop. With that out of the way, let us return to our pressing business. He barks a stream of rapid-fire Turkish, and the gum-chewing young woman comes hurrying out to the counter. The menu for Herr Amsel, uncle. Cammy hands you a folded piece of paper. Inside is a memory stick. Please extend my consolations to him. The death of Fräulein Schaffer must have hit him hard. Bergasi gives Cammy a small nod, and she hurries out of the room. When she is gone, he returns his attention to you. Please express my condolences as well. I only just heard the news. Monica was an important part of this community. He frowns. Few know how important. The memory stick Cammy just handed you should contain all the information Amsel acquires from our chef in the field. Should you require my services in the future, you know where to find me. Until then, good day. Coffee? As in real coffee, not soy calf? Yes, for individuals of refined taste, I offer genuine bean coffee from my native Turkey. The cafe owner looks you in the eye. The tone of his voice grows low and serious. This is a top-shelf item, my friend, and not for the general public, only for those few discerning connoisseurs who can properly appreciate it. No thanks. Coffee's gross. Back to my little hidey hole time. Oh hey, everyone's here. It's like they know. Afer? Amsel peers at you apprehensively. His eyes are bloodshot, his expression grim. Did you get the information about Green Winters? Yes, I spoke to Altuk. He gave me this memory stick. Let us see what his agent has to say. Amsel snatches the memory stick from your hand and slots it into his computer terminal. He navigates a series of command line menus and a wall of amber text floods the screen. Amsel scans it, mouthing the words as his eyes flip back and forth. Buragasi's agent tailed Green Winters to a hotel in a cesspool of a Kies called Dragonfall. The hotel is called Das Kesselhaus. It is a renovated factory nestled deep in the heart of Dragonfall. It appears that the Winters is holed up there. Recently, there was some contention between two gangs over control of this neighborhood. Due to the gang violence, the agent refused to allow Winters inside of the hotel, but he confirms that he is still inside. Well, what are we waiting for? Iger slings her rifle over her shoulder with a single spare motion. Gear up, people, we have a hotel to raid. Gloria and Daedric pause, exchange looks with Paul. Just a moment, Iger. Amsel rises his chair, drawing himself to full height. Even so, he has to crane his neck to look at her in the eye. You're an excellent soldier, and nobody questions your competence in the field. Your loyalty to this team is equally commendable. That said, we believe that Afer is the right choice to lead the team. Oh, she's not gonna like that. There is a long pause before Iger speaks. When she does, her voice becomes dull and flat. What? Don't mistake this decision for a reprimand. Monica considered your contributions to the team to be invaluable, but we all know that she wasn't comfortable putting a soldier in charge. Iger speaks through clenched teeth. Her words are measured, but her expression is livid. This is unbelievable. You want to put the rookie in charge. Again. She shakes her head. Don't you people learn from your mistakes? Afer is the reason we're still alive, Iger. She kept us together. She let us out of there in one piece, making her your #1 girl. She sounds tired, resigned, but above all, disappointed. This is more of your flux state idiocy at work, isn't it? Daedric reaches out, puts his hand on her shoulder. It's what Monica believed in. Iger's voice tightens. For a moment, her control slipped and her face contorts in grief. Yeah, and look where that got her. She straightens to her full height. Let me give you a piece of advice. In the field, only two things matter, the mission and survival. Everything else is a distraction. Your ridiculous politics have no place on a Shadowrun. Daedric managed to smile. What can I say? We're German. We have a history of strong political views. Iger sighs. The tone of resignation returns to her voice. Screw it. Let's put an end to this. I've got the skill and the experience to lead this team. Afer, on the other hand, was appointed by Monica as a joke. If you'd rather she take the lead, I'll abide by that, but I want to hear each of you say it. This is a waste of time. We should be out looking for Green Winters. You stay out of this. She stabs an armored finger in your chest, hard. The moment she raises her hand to you, Dante's ears lay back and he lets out a low growl. Reflexively, she takes a half step back. I think we've heard what Dante has to say. As for my part, Aphra saved our lives back there. You may not believe it, but she did. The way I see it, that means I follow her lead a while longer. Glory's voice is uncharacteristically gentle. I trust in Monica's judgment, therefore I trust in Aphra's judgment. The discussion is finished, Igar. Amsel speaks softly, but his tone is firm. Aphra will take Monica's place as the leader of this team. That's just vengeance, in overhead. I'll do what it takes to keep this team Monica's legacy alive. Running the shadows is simple. Work, survive, and get paid. I plan to keep us long enough to find a payday at the end of this tunnel. Glory and Dietrich nod in agreement. Dante nudges your leg with his head. Alright, fine. She shakes her head in exasperation. Her voice is heavy with defeat. Looks like the rookie's in charge again. We can talk about this more later, Igar. For now, we have more important things to deal with. Igar's expression remains stony, but she gives you a small nod. Yeah, okay. I have transferred the information that we received from Altig to the computer terminal in the next room. It used to be Monica's personal workstation effort. Now it is yours. Monica kept a variety of notes and dossiers on that machine. I would suggest reviewing her notes when you have the time. Ansel turns his attention away from you and back to his computer screen. Good hunting. I will eagerly await your return. I wouldn't suggest driving to Drakenkipp. The roads aren't safe. Taking the U-Bahn would be faster anyway. Thanks for the tip, Agar. The U-Bahn it is. Edgar nods, then turns to check her equipment. The rest of the group disperses in turn. You now command a team of Shadowrunners. When traveling to new mission locations, you'll be able to choose which members of your team to bring and modify their loadout for their run. When members of your team become permanently incapacitated on a mission, they'll be automatically extracted for emergency medical care. They'll be patched up and ready for action next time you return to your safe house. Avoid this loss of firepower by always carrying some Bumona drama kits into the field. They can be purchased at the Street Doc's office in the Crow's Bazaar. Huh. I guess because, the characters here are actual characters and not just, like, you know, people to add some extra numbers, to take away from the enemy's numbers. It would be more difficult if they could die permanently.